All right, so today we're going to do something a little different.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at all the subtle ways that women signal interest and how they kind of discourage the competition.
Interesting.
We found this article called 5 Signs She's Claiming Her Interest in You and Warning Other Women to Back Off.
Okay.
Might sound a little tongue-in-cheek, but
Yeah.
it's these are really signals that people miss all the time.
It is fascinating, just how much communication happens kind of beneath the surface. We're not talking about like grand pronouncements of love.
Yeah.
It's these tiny little, almost invisible cues.
Yeah, so the article jumps right into proximity and touch.
Okay.
Is there really something to this idea that physical closeness means romantic interest?
Well, if you think about personal space,
Right.
everyone has that sort of invisible bubble around them.
Yeah.
And when someone's attracted to you, they might just subtly breach that bubble.
Right.
It's not about being intrusive, but more like creating a sense of,
Shared space.
shared space. Exactly.
So, like, she ends up standing closer to you at a party or finds a reason to kind of be in your vicinity.
Exactly. It's a bit like a nonverbal way of saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'm here
Right.
and I'm interested.
Okay.
Now, touch can be even more loaded, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a fleeting brush of the hand is one thing.
Sure.
But if she lets her fingers linger on your arm during a conversation,
Oh, wow.
that's sending a very different message.
The article says to watch her reaction during touch,
Right.
Is she smiling? Does her body language mirror yours?
Mirroring is really interesting because it's often subconscious. When we're attracted to someone, we tend to subtly mimic their movements,
Wow.
posture, even their speech patterns.
Oh, really?
It's a way of building rapport and signaling that I'm on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah.
Studies have even shown.
Okay, hold on. I want to make sure we have time to get to everything.
Oh, sure.
So moving on, what about when a woman remembers tiny details from past conversations? I mean, is that really a sign of attraction or just a good memory?
Well, memory is selective.
Okay.
We tend to remember things that are emotionally significant to us. So when a woman recalls, a small joke you made or a story you told months ago,
Right.
she's demonstrating that those moments hold meaning for her.
Okay.
It goes beyond just a good memory.
Right.
It's about creating a unique bond through those shared experiences.
Emotional anchoring.
Precisely.
So, like, she's creating this connection to those moments.
And it often leads to like inside jokes
Yeah.
and unique references, building that sense of a private world between two people.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the digital realm.
All right.
The article says that a woman's social media behavior can be a big giveaway.
Sure.
I mean, liking posts, commenting, that's pretty standard stuff.
Of course.
You're right.
But look for an escalation.
Okay.
It might start with likes.
Yeah.
But then it moves towards more personalized interactions. Tagging you in posts, responding to your updates with personal notes.
Right.
Even posting content that aligns with your shared interests.
So it's about going beyond the basic likes and comments.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about claiming space in your digital world,
Gotcha.
making her presence known
Okay.
in a way that stands out from just casual interactions.
Now, the article also talks about protective instincts, which sounds almost possessive.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's more about a heightened awareness of the social dynamics.
Okay.
If you're chatting with another woman, she might subtly insert herself into the conversation or position herself nearby.
You're right.
The article calls it a protective stance, but I see it as a way of gently signaling like, hey, this is my person.
But wouldn't that be a bit off-putting? Like,
Yeah.
shouldn't you be free to talk to whoever you want?
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Yeah.
It's not about like controlling your interactions,
Right.
but about expressing a certain level of,
Okay.
let's call it affectionate vigilance.
Affectionate vigilance?
It stems from caring about the connection and wanting to kind of safeguard it.
So how do you distinguish between genuine interest and just being territorial?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Look for a playful element.
Yeah. Okay.
A woman who's genuinely interested might tease you about your interaction with someone else.
Right.
Or find a clever way to redirect your attention back to her.
Okay.
It's not about shutting down the conversation,
Right.
but about playfully reasserting the connection.
So a bit of humor can be a good sign.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It shows a level of comfort and security in the connection,
Interesting.
allowing her to express her feelings in a lighthearted way.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, and I want to make sure we have time for everything.
Sure.
Let's move on to the idea of shared rituals.
Okay.
The article suggests that creating rituals, big or small, can signify a deeper level of connection.
Right.
What's the thinking behind that?
Well, rituals tap into our need for connection and predictability. You know, we humans are creatures of habit.
Right.
We like routines.
Yeah.
We find comfort in knowing what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And when you create rituals with someone, you're essentially building a shared history, a sense of belonging.
So something as simple as like grabbing coffee at the same spot every Sunday morning can be meaningful.
Absolutely. It becomes your thing, you know?
Right.
It's a small but significant piece of your shared world.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be these grand gestures, you know?
Right.
It could be as simple as watching a certain show together every week or texting each other goodnight every day.
Right.
It's about establishing those points of connection that reinforce the bond.
What about bigger rituals like celebrating certain events together?
Yeah, those become milestones in your shared narrative, you know, birthdays, holidays,
Right.
even personal achievements.
Mm-hmm.
When you celebrate those moments together,
Yeah.
you're weaving your stories together,
Right.
creating a tapestry of shared experiences.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
And then, of course, there's the big one, introducing you to her world.
Yes.
Her friends, her family,
Mm-hmm.
the places that hold meaning for her.
Those introductions aren't made lightly.
Right.
They represent a significant level of trust and vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's her way of saying, you're important to me and I want you to be a part of my life, to know the people and places that matter to me.
That makes sense.
Oh.
It's like she's giving you a glimpse into her inner circle. You know,
exactly.
sharing a part of herself that she doesn't offer to just anyone.
It's a sign that she sees a future with you, that she's envisioning you as a part of her life in a more permanent way.
So we've talked about proximity and touch, shared experiences,
Right.
rituals, even social media behavior.
Mm-hmm.
What about just plain old communication?
Yeah.
Does the way a woman communicates reveal anything about her level of interest?
Communication is key, of course, but
Yeah.
again, it's about the nuances, you know.
Right.
Look for consistency.
Yeah, okay.
Does she initiate contact?
Does she share updates about her day, her thoughts, her feelings?
Yeah.
Does she check in on you, even in small ways?
So it's not just about responding, but about actively reaching out and keeping the lines open.
Exactly. It shows that she's thinking about you, that she wants to stay connected even when you're not physically together.
Okay.
And as the connection deepens, she might start to open up more emotionally,
Okay.
sharing her dreams, her fears, even her vulnerabilities.
That's a big step, isn't it? Opening up emotionally.
It is. It signifies a deep level of trust and a desire for genuine intimacy.
Right.
It's about letting you see her authentic self, the parts of her that she might not share with just anyone.
That's really powerful. So we've talked about words, but what about actions? How do a woman's actions reveal her level of interest?
Actions speak volumes.
Yeah.
Does she go out of her way to help you?
Okay.
Does she remember small details that matter to you? Does she show up for you when you need it most?
Like bringing you your favorite snack after a long day. Or offering to run an errand for you when you're swamped.
Those are great examples. It's about being present, being attentive, being there for you in ways that matter.
Right.
It's about demonstrating care and consideration that goes beyond casual interest.
So it's not just about grand gestures, but about those small acts of service that show she's paying attention and genuinely cares.
Precisely. It's those little things that often reveal the deepest feelings. Now, there's one more aspect we haven't touched upon yet.
Okay.
The significance of shared environments.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Think about the places that hold meaning for you.
Okay.
Your favorite park, a cozy cafe, even your own home.
Right.
These are spaces that we imbue with our energy, our memories, our sense of self. And when a woman invites you into those spaces, she's not just sharing a location,
Okay.
she's sharing a part of herself.
So it's not just about going to a cool restaurant. It's about her choosing a place that holds personal significance for her.
Exactly. It could be a spot that reminds her of a happy memory, a place where she feels relaxed and comfortable, or even a place that she's always wanted to share with someone special.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like she's opening a door to her world, inviting you to step inside and experience it with her.
And by doing so, she's creating a new layer of shared experiences, deepening the emotional connection between you.
So if he takes you to her favorite bookstore,
Yeah,
that's more significant than just going to any random bookstore.
it could be. It's about the intention behind the choice. You know,
Right.
is she sharing a place that holds a special meaning for her?
Okay.
Is she excited to show you this part of her world?
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Proximity and touch,
Right.
shared experiences, rituals, communication actions, even shared environments.
Yeah.
It seems like there's this whole hidden language of attraction going on beneath the surface.
There is, and it's fascinating how much we communicate without even realizing it.
Right.
These subtle signals can be easily missed if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
But once you start to notice them, it's like a whole new world opens up.
So what's the takeaway here?
Yeah.
How can our listeners use this knowledge to navigate their own interactions?
It's about being present, being observant, and paying attention to the nuances.
Okay.
Don't just listen to the words, but observe the body language, the tone of voice, the small gestures.
Right.
And remember, sometimes the most powerful messages are the ones delivered quietly between the lines.
So it's not about over-analyzing every interaction,
Right.
but about being more attuned to those subtle cues that might reveal a deeper level of interest.
Exactly. It's about developing a sense of awareness and understanding that communication goes far beyond just the words we speak.
All right, that's some great advice, but before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing.
Sure.
The article focuses on women's signals, but wouldn't many of these cues apply to anyone regardless of gender?
Absolutely. The principles of attraction and connection are universal.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
whether it's proximity and touch, shared experiences, or creating rituals. These are all ways of building rapport and strengthening bonds, regardless of gender.
So it's not about reducing attraction to a set of gender-specific behaviors,
Right.
but about understanding the underlying dynamics of human connection.
Exactly. We all crave connection, intimacy, and belonging.
Right.
And these subtle signals, these unspoken languages, are ways of expressing those desires and navigating the complex dance of human relationships.
That's a great point. So while our source material might be geared towards men trying to understand women's signals,
Yeah.
the insights we've discussed today are really applicable to anyone looking to deepen their connections and build more meaningful relationships.
I completely agree. Whether you're navigating the world of dating, strengthening friendships, or even building professional relationships,
Right.
being attuned to these subtle cues can enhance your understanding of the people around you
Yeah,
and foster a deeper sense of connection.
that's a fantastic takeaway. It's like we've been given the secret decoder ring for human behavior.
And the beauty of it is that this decoder ring isn't about manipulation or trying to force connections.
Right.
It's about developing a deeper understanding of ourselves and others and using that knowledge to build more authentic, fulfilling relationships.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So what's the one piece of advice you'd give our listeners as they go out into the world armed with all this newfound knowledge?
Be curious,
Okay.
be observant, pay attention to the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just listen to the words, but observe the actions, the gestures, the unspoken cues.
Right.
And most importantly, approach every interaction with a sense of openness and a willingness to connect on a deeper level.
Okay.
You might be surprised at what you discover.
That's great advice. It's like we've been given a treasure map not to find buried gold, but to uncover the hidden treasures of human connection.
And the best part is, the more you explore, the more you discover, the richer your relationships become. It's a journey of continuous learning and growth.
Well said. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I hope so.
It's been fascinating to delve into the subtle signs of attraction and explore the nuances of human connection.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, the world is full of these unspoken languages.
Right.
Once you start to notice them, you'll never look at relationships the same way again.
So to our listeners, happy decoding. And remember, sometimes the most powerful messages are the ones spoken in whispers.